Hey, I am back. This is me, DayLife Mary, Sergeant Major of the Army, Mary Martha. I am a 20-year-old white woman. I'm white Anglo-Saxon Protestant on one side and 100% Irish potato famine potato picker on the other. I just had to wait until my environment was A+. Oh, I'm doing the satanic 666 sign. Sorry. Force of habit, recovering Satanist here. Not consciously, just, living in the pain matrix. So I am back for part 4 of the Destructiun of Masculinity, which is the series I'm doing. I've talked about a lot of things, and the point is that I'm trying to keep it personal as well, like my own experiences running that masculine destruction program. I'm not unique. All white women are programmed with this program to various degrees, and some people manage to figure shit out more or less. It just depends. And the younger you are, the more intense the program is. But it's all ages. And I thought today I would go over this murder story, and the protagonist, the murderer, is this white woman in her 70s now, Nancy Brophy. And I guess I could bring it to myself by connecting the parts of her that are in me. How could I, in another life with different choices or exacerbations of my program, go down that path, right? I don't know though. Her story and her example is just a really good example of all of the qualities in the white woman program that lead to, in this case, a literal destruction of the masculine through murder, right? That is to the nth degree the most physically manifest results of that program. A murdered man, her husband. I have this infinite supply of oranges at my disposal. I could eat an orange every day if I wanted to, but I won't, because that's too much sugar, even if it's natural sugar. So, let me just get the groundwork of this story with Nancy. Nancy is also my aunt's name. This takes place in the Pacific Northwest, which I have traveled through extensively through my time here in DayLife Army, actually. And Nancy she has the classic look of a Pacific Northwestern lady, which is a really kind of crazy, homely look that everyone adopts who's a woman up there. It's crazy how it happens to everyone. General Coet told me about this phenomena, and I got to see it firsthand being around there. And she was also talking about how all the men are generally pretty attractive and rugged, and you just have all these couples up there that don't make sense. You're what? When you look at the man and the woman. And this is a great example of that too. Nancy looks kind of crazy, and I'm the first person to tell you I love physiognomy and how someone like looks being indicative of their types of, you know, personality or whatever. I'm going on a tangent. Okay. Nancy met her husband, Dan, at culinary school where he was a teacher in the Pacific Northwest. He was someone beloved in the community, a guy that everyone liked, who was really active in the community, always giving back, doing special things, and like having, I don't know, like a meal on wheels cart and going above and beyond, and just kind of like everyone who was his student or his colleague or worked with him was just like, he's an awesome guy and he goes above and beyond, and he's just like, he was beloved. And Nancy, not so much. No one dare speak ill of a white woman, but there's not that kind of a vibe from what I've seen. And I just listened to this like thing the general sent me, a true crime video on her that was like that case that was a couple hours long or something. But Nancy was a burgeoning romance novelist, as in she wrote all of her own shit and it was awful and really bad. But one of the things she wrote was like how to get away with murdering your husband. And she wrote it a long time ago. And this is like a life where I get to experiment with how horrible I am at telling stories and try to get better at it. But Nancy and her husband were going through a lot of issues with debt because Nancy was a serial shopping addict and had taken a lot of debt on through credit cards and crazy purchasing habits, to the point where she had blown into her husband's retirement, like all the way even, I think. Meanwhile, he's just a happy dude, happy with his life and his job and his purpose and serving others. So he doesn't notice, and he's like still doing his thing. He doesn't really care about money. He just wants to be his chef and teach kids and do his thing. Nancy, however, is a lot of stuff's a brewing in her head. I can relate as a white woman. A lot of stuff brewing in there. You're getting a little crazy, but no one knows because you don't move your mouth, you don't talk about anything to anyone, you're ashamed to express anything that might make you look bad, or you fear ultimately embarrassment. You love to hide. I can relate to all of those things. But it got to the point with her where apparently she thought it would be, you know, a great idea to enact her short story about murdering her husband, how to get away with murdering your husband, and actually do it. So she bought a ghost gun that's untraceable. She went to his work while he was setting up before class started, because he was at the institute where he taught, the Culinary Institute in Portland, Oregon, I believe. And she had big part, I almost missed. She had taken out a bevy of life insurance policies on her husband, who, by the way, from all intents and purposes, perfect happy marriage from the outside, right? That's what everyone says. Everyone who's fake, living in a fake world, fake life, but still. So she had these life insurance policies that would take care of all of the debts she had accrued, and then some, and then some, and then some. So she brings this ghost gun, this gun bought online, no serial number, no trace, And that's like her being like, I got this, I'm a badass, I'm clever, I'm gangster. And she goes and shoots him, point blank range. Leaves him on the floor, gets back in her minivan, drives away. And there he is for his students to find. Doors locked so they can't get in right away. His students are devastated. He was really beloved. And this happened, I think, in like 2016, 2017, perhaps. And I watched a lot of Nancy Brophy's testimony. And let me tell you, I don't know if anyone else can really understand as much as white women the levels of what is going on inside versus the image you project into the world inside the pain matrix, where white women do run that matrix. So we have the power of perception or appearance, PR, in our court, and we use it. So the pain matrix is crumbling right now. I talk about that a lot. Part of what I am doing here in General Koa's army is facilitating pain matrix ruin, you know, the degradation of that matrix and all that is taken from it to feed the expansion of pleasure matrix territory. That's why I tell you to wash belief. Make a wash, by the way, cash.me/$washitall, paypal.me/washitall in multiples of 12. So you can start the soul redemption process with a financial wash. But that, as the pain matrix further deteriorates, the white woman PR campaign, the white woman running PR, running appearances, running that matrix, we are being, as General Koa puts it, laid low. That is not working anymore. I'm having some technical difficulties. But anyways, all of these stories coming out now, this, Amber Heard, Taylor Lorenz, journalism in general, spearheaded by white women. The PR isn't working anymore. On purpose. This is all a purposeful process, by the way. It's not like anything is not planned. So anyways, Nancy Brophy. I might have to end this live here and start up with part 2 tomorrow, because my phone's just puttering out. But you know what happened? She killed her husband. I'll go into the aftermath and her testimony and just all of the craziness of white women, and how it relates to my own story, right? Because that's always the juicy part I don't want to get into. And yeah, that's it for today. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Make a wash of belief. You know the links. The goal today is 720. And share this live, share any of the lives on my page, put your thoughts in the comments. Plenty of guys out there, I'm sure you have experiences of the Masculine Destructiun program in your own life. Drop a comment. Tell me about it. Alright,